An informed source told Iran International that Masoud Pezeshkian, president of, here it says Iran, but not really, president of the Islamic Republic, has requested to step down from his position by sending an official letter to the office of Mojtaba Khamenei, leader of the Islamic Republic. According to information received by Iran International, in this letter sent in the past few hours, and guys, this just came out like 2 hours ago. So in the past few hours, Pezeshkian has issued a warning in an unprecedented and critical tone that the country's administrative structure has effectively veered off from official channels, and the main pillars of governance have fallen under the complete control of a, listen to this, of a specific faction of IRGC commanders. This is very key. He's not saying it has fallen under the complete control of IRGC. He's saying it has fallen under the complete control of the specific factions of IRGC commanders, confirming inner IRGC division. Confirming inner IRGC division. Okay. And then it continues. It remains unclear whether Mojtaba Khamenei will agree to the president's resignation, but the content of the letter points to deep and unprecedented rift at the highest levels of power in the Islamic Republic. In the letter, Pezeshkian emphasized that the president and government have effectively been sidelined from major and vital decision making processes in the country, and the resulting vacuum has paved the way for extremist factions within the IRGC to seize control of affairs. He also stated that under such conditions, he is unable to manage the government or fulfill his legal responsibilities, and for this reason he has requested immediate resignation. It continues by saying this development comes amid ongoing tensions in recent months between the government and the Islamic Republic's military security institutions. Iran International had previously reported that the IRGC has gradually curtailed many of the presidency's authorities and in practice taking control of key sectors of the government. According to informed sources, the situation has trapped Pezeshkian's government in a political and executive deadlock, one that neither allows for advancing diplomatic negotiations nor permits the completion and implementation of desired changes in the cabinet structure. So I have a lot of thoughts about this, and I have a lot of suspicions about what's really happening behind the scenes. But I don't want to keep talking because people have already been listening to me talking. I want to go to you guys in the group and hear your opinions, and then come, if I have anything to add, I will add, guys. And guys, people in the chat, tell me, post your questions and opinions about what's happening, so that we could, because this is a big development. Do we have any twos in the chat?
Yes, we do. Jose is the first one.
Okay. I was listening to you and Goldie, and I know that there's already been a dispute that this has happened from the IRGC in the government. This is what I'm thinking. With the internet being wide open, or as open as possible, even under restraints, there's going to be enough of the IRG in favor of the IRG factions, okay, that are going to hear the resignation and the reason why. Okay. So he's doing a Donald Trump. He's not talking to the outside world. He's talking to the people that now have internet access in Iran. This is my thinking. Just my thinking here. And that might be a very powerful ploy. And it will, how the regime will act, I don't know. We might even find out who actually controls the cardboard. Ayatollah. Let's just be thinking. My idea.
Okay. Let's go to next person. But also, Nore, you should put. I want to hear your opinions. Guy, Nelbany, everybody else here, put twos in the chat because I really want to see if you got what you guys think. Okay. Sketch.
I mean, sounds like
Gotcha.
a major infighting of some sort, but
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna look up some more. Like, I want to see like some more information, see what's actually going on with everything.
Okay.
Sketch, go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm seeing is here, he's not allowed to talk to resign. He's just a mouthpiece, but he knows, as our humble genius Jeffrey likes to say, they're going to want to put a warhead on that forehead,
Jeff-
right? So he knows not only will the IRGC kill him if he says the wrong thing, or the other side kill him if he says the wrong thing, but the U.S. will also kill him if he can't make a deal, and he's just one of these guys that can't make a deal, right? So this is, I mean, I know there's a game of Durkas, and that's I think that's better analogy for women. For men, we could use the Star Wars analogy, but you know, what I'm trying to get at here is that yes, there is a game being played, but the big players aren't in the limelight, right? There's still we still want to know, and I think you might know, who is the Admiral Thrawn in the post Star Wars theory. Once they threw the Palpatine down the shaft and he's dead, we killed him in the Death Star. He's dead. We got that fake Emperor Snoke who's there. He's kind of cardboard. Okay, you have the Imperial remnant and the Sith priest trying to fight it out, right? And to take control of the army, right? Now, who is the big military guy who's in charge, who's taking one side? Which side is he on? Is this guy? This guy seems to be on the military side, and the priests are saying you're a fake priest, and we don't know what's going on. We want us to talk straight to us. Go ahead. Tell me you hate me. Tell me what's going on. Tell me I'm a bad guy. Tell me that I'm crazy for wanting things to be different. But I need you to talk to us to see what's going on. So this guy turned on the internet, but he thought they weren't going to listen to him. Then they did listen to him and turned it on. And now he's like, oh shit, you did what I said. Now it's going to look like I'm in charge, and I'm going to be responsible for stuff that's happening. Right. So he's very worried, and that's why he wants to resign, but he might not even have the power to resign. So how much power does he really have? So these are the questions that I would want to know. It's like, wait a minute, what do you mean he can't resign?
Yeah. So first things first, I don't think anybody is motivated to kill Pezeshkian no matter what he does, because he's just too useful. Right? I've seen a lot of people look at the Islamic Republic thinking like, oh, if you say the wrong thing, they're gonna kill you. Not really. Some people's job is to say the wrong thing. Like some people are
not even us, right?
What? Yeah.
Not even the U.S. wants to kill him because he's causing all these problems.
Yeah. No, but not, the Islamic Republic needs certain people to come and say the wrong things, to say like, yeah, it's him. He's the one who's fucking everything up. Like, don't look at us. It's him. Like, blame him, right? So Pezeshkian is just too useful for the Islamic Republic, and you get no benefit from killing him. Like, he doesn't have any power. Why would you kill him? Like, he can't do anything. Okay, so he has zero leverage, zero power. He can't harm anybody, and you could constantly point at him. It was like, oh, it was him that is caused. It's him who's being flexible with the Americans. It's him that turned on the internet. It's him that is fucked up the economy so that we had the uprising of the Iranian people that killed Ali Khamenei. So if somebody is no threat to you and is saying all the wrong things that are basically the wrong things to say, and you could just constantly use him as a scapegoat, why the fuck would you kill him? Why the fuck would you kill somebody that is no threat? Like, if the Islamic Republic kills like Rafsanjani because he was powerful, he was a threat. Pezeshkian is not a threat. They don't benefit at all from killing him. The only way he could die is because they caused, like, if he gets killed, the regime hasn't killed him. The regime supporters have killed him. And basically, because the regime is protecting Pezeshkian, they really try to protect him because he's a hate bucket. He's the hate bucket. Like, if don't hate us, hate this guy. But maybe the only problem is that if you create so much hate against him, the regime supporters, some of them at some point are like, well, I'm going to take justice I'm going to take things in my own hand. Like, this guy is selling and betraying the whole country, and the regime is not doing anything about it. So random vigilante pro-regime person might do something about it, but the regime itself is not going to kill him at all, right? That is his purpose. Yeah, hate bucket means scapegoat. Exactly. No funny.
Yeah, he's a well. We also have to see if he truly does resign or they allow him or whatever. Is full power going to get into the IRGC's hand completely out in the open? Not that it's not right now, but more out in the open. In that case, it could be better for us because that way we know there's no way that they're going to come to any terms with the United States. Not that they will now either, but then it will be more sure and more out in the open that way, if that makes sense. All right, Jim, you're next.
Gotta say, guys, as if we're playing a game of Clue here with who did what, where. I can't answer the what, I can't answer the where, but I could probably answer the who. My money as to who really controls the regime behind the scenes is what I was saying yesterday with Armin. I really believe it's Hussein Taib, the kingmaker, doing this behind the scenes, using Mojtaba's likeness as a front for what he wants to do. There was a post I saw a while ago on X, and I don't know how valid it is, but I think it did show Mojtaba's head and name as the list as to one of the many people who have died in this current war. Whether or not that's true, one thing, the fact still remains: we have not heard from Mojtaba verbally or in video form either. He is nowhere to be found, and because of that, knowing who's kind of in the behind the scenes in the intelligence administration, my bet is Hussein Taib is really controlling things behind the scenes. I was curious what you guys thought.
So if I wanted to, by the way, guys, do you hear the background? Is it too loud? No. Okay. So if I wanted to summarize what's happening right now, we used to have 4 camps. Now we have 3. Okay. So we have one camp within the IRGC, which is Vahidi and Jafari are uniting with each other in the IRGC against Ghalibaf and the supreme leader, right? So we have the coup, the IRGC coup against the Supreme Leadership Office, getting it to its final phases, and the main people finalizing this multi-year coup, slow coup of the military people against the mullahs, getting to its final stages, with Vahidi now using Jafari. So Vahidi is the head of the IRGC. Jafari is this old-timer person has more people loyal to him within the IRGC. He used to be the head of IRGC. Someone's mic is open. I don't know why. You guys, close your mics if you're not speaking. Sorry about that. But so he's basically now uniting with Jafari. Jafari, as you guys remember, was the main enemy of Ghalibaf. So that shows that the IRGC is taking a position against Ghalibaf. Ghalibaf is just recently was 100% endorsed by by the Supreme Leadership Office, by Mojtaba or whoever speaking on his behalf, maybe Taib, as you just mentioned, right? So that shows that the Supreme Leadership Office is more afraid of IRGC than the Paidari camp, as expected, because remember, we told you the Paidari camp people. So we have basically, let me actually make it easy for you people to understand. Group 1, Vahidi and Jafari. That's group number 1. Group number 2, Mojtaba, Ghalibaf. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, Mojtaba, Ghalibaf, Mojtaba Khamenei, the supreme leader, Ghalibaf, and Hussein Taib. That's group number 2. Group number 3 is the Paidari camp, with people like Jalili, Rasai, and Sabati in it. Okay, so group number 1, which is Vahidi and Jafari, they are the IRGC. That means that they have all the military power and the biggest financial power. That's why they're if you had to be a betting man, that's the group that you would bet on winning. Group number 2 is terrified of the IRGC's full and complete takeover. So they were forced to unite with Ghalibaf against the complete IRGC takeover. And we can tell that from Mojtaba's last statement that they're fully leaning into uniting with Ghalibaf, right? Their power comes from some IRGC because Ghalibaf is IRGC, and also Taib is IRGC, so they have some IRGC influence, and the fact that they have the supreme leader, which is the soft power of the Islamic Republic, right? But obviously, Vahidi and Jafari have more IRGC power compared to Ghalibaf and Hussein Taib, but still, it's important. Third group, which is the most jihadi, openly jihadi minded group, which is the Paidari camp, they have nothing. They only have the opinions of the pro-regime people in the streets. They don't have financial power. They don't have a figurehead that a lot of people respect, and they have no economic power. That's why you can see them coming out and lashing out these days. It got really heated because Rasai just recently came out and said, attacked Mojtaba Khamenei with that Quranic verse that he put out about Noah's son. You guys know about that. We already talked about it. Open attacks on Mojtaba Khamenei, or whether or not he's alive or not, is getting more common. And it might even get more by the Paidari camp people because they're the most desperate. They're being completely sidelined and pushed aside. But yeah, I mean, these are the three forces right now. And the bet, if you had to bet on one of them, I would bet on Vahidi and Jafari winning over the supreme leadership.
Do you think the Paidari camp is gonna eventually join in Vahidi and Jafari?
Paidari camp. Well, so the thing is that why would they want them? But these people have only one. They are one dimensional, right? They are, and they have nothing to offer. Like, what do they have to offer? Like, they don't have that much leverage. So yeah, even if they wanted to, what do they have to bring to the table for them to be like, yeah, maybe here's the
I would
thing.
say just for survival.
Huh? No, yeah.
Just for survival.
I see your point. I see why the Paidari camp would want to join them, but I'm wondering
Yeah,
why would the Vahidi and Jafari want
Oh,
to
okay.
take them in? Like what do you guys have
Yeah.
to bring? You guys have you are the most annoying people within the Islamic Republic. So why would we
Yeah.
even want you, right? So yeah, but yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Well, let them keep fighting. We want that.
Yes, exactly.
Guy, you're next.
Okay, so I'm not totally up to date on the news. I know basically to the extent that I know of what has happened is that Pezeshkian has submitted a letter of resignation to Mojtaba. But to me, that says that he doesn't think that the regime is going to survive enough to be able to stop rowdy crowds. And I'll explain what I mean. So right now he has a role. His role is to be the fall guy. But they're going to make sure he stays alive as the fall guy because that's his role. And as we've discussed over the last few days, he is, or everyone is well aware that basically whatever happens, if they capitulate or whatever, they're going to say, look, it's this guy you guys voted for. I think that the only way is that he remains safe is if the regime is strong enough to stop rowdy crowds. Because if he makes if he capitulates, or if he is blamed for a capitulation, and the Durka crowd, the less than 5%, are going to start rioting, and they get to him, he's dead. If the other 95% start rioting and they get to him, he's dead. The only, like, this resignation to me says that he doesn't trust that what remains of the IRGC is going to be enough to save his ass.
Um, so he senses danger. That's why he's resigning. That's what I believe in. I don't know if he. I don't. So if I was Pezeshkian, I wouldn't know if I think they would be able to protect me. I just don't know if they would want to. In my opinion, like I would be scared of that, right? I think there is enough
That's
forces.
another option. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is enough forces to protect Pezeshkian if they wanted to, right? Like, but I like because there is so many. There is more than enough forces to protect Pezeshkian. But Pezeshkian has figured out, like he saw the writing on the wall, like he figured out that yeah he's being used and everything is going to be blamed on him. Like like he's thinking like these motherfuckers are basically going to do whatever they want to do, and people are not going to be happy. The pro regime people are not going to be happy, and everything is going to be blamed on me. And that's the point of me. He figured out that's the point of me. And the hate is getting too much. Like it's one thing to say like, oh, your economic policies were bad and that's why the economy is bad. It's another thing to basically for so many people to say you actually crashed the economy on purpose so that you could cause the January uprising, so that the Americans could come kill and Ali Khamenei and Ali Khamenei, and now you're doing the exact same thing. The reason why the economy in Iran is crashing even more now is because you're trying to start another uprising so you could kill Mojtaba as well. And the reason why you brought back the internet is so that the anti-regime Iranians could communicate and plan their uprising against the regime, so you could kill Mojtaba. And that you are, and not only that, you were the one who arranged with the Israelis and Ilyam Aliyev of Azerbaijan to kill Raisi when he went to Azerbaijan to for the opening of the dam. You're the one who. So imagine Pezeshkian is now being accused of the killing of Raisi, Ali Khamenei, and now Moshtaba Khamenei. And like, okay, I'm gonna quit. Like, what this is, I can't take this. Like, I'm in serious danger here. That is like, like, right? And especially, you know why is this so crazy for Pezeshkian? Because he loved Ali Khamenei. Like this man was the most loyal politician to Ali Khamenei. He saw Ali Khamenei like he for him he was in the position of God. Like everything is acceptable as long as you are following the path and the command of Ali Khamenei. That's what this guy's philosophy was, right? And this man, okay, which I think loved Ali Khamenei more than any other politician serving under Ali Khamenei, is now being accused of killing Ali Khamenei. So, like, this, fuck this shit. Like, why did I even become president? That's why he wants to quit. Right? Yeah. Oh my god, it's so I
Yeah,
love this happening to them. But you go on, area.
I know, it's satisfying.
Yeah.
Daniel Dome, you're next.
So I don't know what could made him go and make it publicly, like say publicly, "Oh, I want to resign." But from the point he like told it, I think never mind what it will happen, we have an indication. Like if they don't let him resign, we will have an indication that they need them, like desperately they need him, and if somehow some why he actually manages to resign, we can understand that. Well, I don't know what could it be, what could it mean, but I think it could be a sort of a sign if they actually let them to resign.
Okay, Jeff, you're next.
Touched on a lot of really important key points. This is going to take a minute. Give me some room. It's really important, Harmon, because this actually you touched on a lot of key issues.
As
So,
long
but
as
that's-
this 5-year-old version, we're good.
I'll do my best. So, Pezeshkian's most recent public interventions, especially between May 25th and 28th, comments where he scolded the hardline state TV directors for framing U.S. negotiations as a fair and deepening divisions, plus his earlier defenses of diplomacy and or blunt warnings about economic collapse signal 3 key observations which tell us where we are in this conflict, or at least begin to point there. First is controlled opposition, or the safety valve role. Like Armin very much aptly touched on this. So Pezeshkian functions as the regime's designated like moderate face, allowing to speak in ways that signal openness to talks and realism. I mean, it's not a real effort. I'm just saying signals falsely that about cost, but he's kept on a real short leash, right? So when he pushes too far, for example, the March apology to the Gulf states for Iranians, while Mullah regime strikes, not Iranian, or his recent push for negotiations, the hardliners immediately savage him in the state media and parliament, like the Paidari faction, Raja News, Hamid, I'm going to fuck this up, Raisi, I don't know.
Raisi.
Thank you. So he then kind of partially retreats and doubles down on revolutionary.
Oh, sorry,
loyalty.
Hamid. Sorry, Rasoi. You're talking about someone else. Sorry. Go on.
Thanks. So he immediately, then he will partially retreat and double down on revolutionary like language. So he recites the regime mantra. There are no hardliners or moderates in the regime. I don't want to use Iran because it's an insult to Iranian people. We are all, let's say regime. I don't want to use Iranians and revolutionaries. So what is that? That's the classic controlled opposition theater, because that's very much indicative of classic controlled opposition theater. It lets the regime test international waters. It gives domestic audience specific, especially the exhausted middle, right, a tiny pressure release, and it maintains plausible deniability. See, they tried diplomacy and the hardliners wouldn't let them. So the IRGC and the ideological core is never going to actually, cede real power. Pezeshkian's recent reported resignation to Mojtaba Khamenei, citing the IRGC overreach and being cut out of decisions, fits the pattern fucking perfectly. Even if state media calls it a rumor, the fact that that rumor exists and circulates kind of tells us a lot of things. That's bucket one. Bucket two, fragmented command, right? So you had Mosaic Defense adopted in an environment of destroyed or reduced communications. So one of the probably least understood within a lot of people is Iran's official military doctrine since 2005 is decentralized Mosaic Defense, designed by former IRGC chief Mohammad Jafari. And it deliberately breaks down the country into 31 semi-autonomous provincial commands that can keep fighting, even if, say, you have a decapitive strike against the regime and central communications are destroyed. Well, now we're seeing also the side effects of that doctrine. So you have what? Multiple leadership strikes, right? We killed Ali Khamenei, see you later, fucker, in like February and early March of 2026, and subsequent hits on IRGC figures, plus Cyber Command, and like Anonymous is taking the fight to these motherfuckers in cyberspace, coupled with kinetic attacks on command nodes, have forced the system into its mosaic mode. The result is you have regional IRGC commanders and hardliner elements that are like operating with significant autonomy, which explains why you have regime remnant strikes on Gulf states continuing even after Pezeshkian's public statements of he's trying to limit or apologize for them. The president can issue one policy line. The actual kinetic actors who control the missiles and drones are pursuing another. That's not political fragmentation. That's fucking structural. It's baked into the defense architecture for exactly this kind of high intensity, high casualty scenario. That said, while the Mosaic Defense buys resilience and attrition capability, it also guarantees or amplifies commando coherence once the center is degraded. Here's the third one. You're seeing almost assuredly, this should speak to Jose, the 21st century regime remnants version of late Imperial Japan in the summer of 1945. This is like the perils are striking, right? So you have a pragmatic realist faction, within their warped view, Pezeshkian, some diplomats and technocrats, they kind of see the writing on the wall, right? The economy's fucked. It's an unsustainable conflict. They need to negotiate an exit with some level of survival, which won't matter because people will hunt them down anyway. Pezeshkian's line, if we don't negotiate, then what? Fight forever? It's almost verbatim the argument of the Japanese peace faction in July and August of 1949. Juxtaposed to that, You have the military ideological hardliners. So these are core IRGC commanders, the Paidari ultras that Armin rightly hammers on all the time, elements around the new Supreme Ayatollah. They treat any talk of compromise as treason or weakness, and they attack the president publicly, right? Continue escalatory actions and push for victory through blood and sacrifice narrative. They ain't winning shit. The emperor figure, the late Khomeini, now is replaced by his son, the Ayatollah Autopen, as Sketch very aptly calls him, is like this weird sideline element, right? So what are you seeing? Just like in Japan, the hardliners, while they are what the CIA analysts assess North Korea's leader perversely rational, they believe surrender, even conditional, destroys the regime's legitimacy and their own power, as Armin accurately points out. They would risk national destruction, indeed they will do so, than accept a negotiated settlement that exposes the limits of their ideology. The difference is that today's version has proxy networks, drones, and missiles instead of kamikaze planes, and a decentralized mosaic structure instead of a rigid, rigid imperial general staff. That said, the internal dynamics, realist, perversely realist, versus ideological militants remains, and is hauntingly similar to what happened at the very end of the Japanese Empire. So what's the main takeaway? What we're seeing in Pezeshkian's, at least I can say with the highest degree of human certainty, there is the highest degree of probability. What we're observing is in Pezeshkian's recent comments is not just internal bickering. It is the regime entering the classic end stage stress pattern. Controlled opposition venting steam, a military doctrine designed for resilience now producing and amplifying fragmentation, and the ideological diehards behaving exactly like Japanese militarists in 1945, refusing to accept the war is lost even as the economy and command structure collapses all around them. And it will collapse very quickly, should and hopefully Pete be given the go-ahead to hammer these fucks into oblivion. The Mullah regime remnants framing I'm using is also useful. You have the Mullah regime is in a post-Khamenei father position. The system is operating on institutional inertia and IRGC power than a unified ideological authority. Armin's right on the money. Pezeshkian's commentary is one of the clearest public windows into that fucking reality, and we should push the friggin' advantage.
Thank you. And then just one real quick thing. I follow this IRGC affiliated Telegram channel, and they're all denying this. They're saying, no, the Mossad affiliated media, Iran International, is claiming that this is happening, but it's not happening. And he's working as planned, as usual, and blah, blah, blah. So we'll see if they even let him do anything.
Interesting. By the way, somebody in the YouTube chat, I will read the super chats after we're finished with this topic, but somebody in the chat in YouTube is accurately pointing out that Armin predicted a lot of this. Thank you for noticing that. Also, just wanted to welcome, where is that? Mano, is he still here? Did he leave? Oh, no, he's here. Yeah, Mano Sarmento, welcome to our group. Great to have you. Yeah, fantastic. And also, just so you know, if you want to speak, great to have you here. If you want to speak, you could put it about the topic that we're talking right now. You could put a 2 in the chat, and if you want to be added to a list to talk about the new topic, you could put a 1 in the chat. Great to have you here. All right, who's next, Nara?
Next, we have Sketch.
Yes, I wanted to add a perspective that's not being discussed. The more this happens, the more we have a framework for declaring the local government as not functional, and we would have to put a transitional government in power outside, because that's what might get him killed. If these actions, these words get the international sphere to say, there's no one in power here. They're divided among their military. They're divided among the politics. No one can actually there's no one to make a deal with. We have to deal with the transitional power and just start seeing who that is, because these people are impossible to deal with. And whoever, says the words in Iran, that's why he's afraid of dying, because he's afraid of, no matter what he says, he won't be killed as long as he's useful. But as soon as an outside government gets declared, and they declare this government not functional enough, and in the international sphere starts recognizing that there needs to be a transitional power on the outside that's recognized, that will get him killed. I think that's what he's afraid of. That's my take. I don't know, but this has happened before. We have declared governments in power outside nations. This isn't new. I think this happened in Libya. I think this happened in Syria. I'm not sure, but I think something like that happened. We started bringing people outside and talking to them. And this is the real danger, because once we do that, then the funds go elsewhere, and the funds go to people that can do things that we are not even legally obliged to respond for.
All right, thank you, Sketch. Armin, you're next.
Okay, so 2 points. First of all, given what Norris said, regarding what she's noticing in IRGC accounts, and given that what we know about what the IRGC is pushing for right now, I don't think this is fake. It might be fake. We never know for sure. But some people are saying like this is Pezeshkian. Okay, so let me be more clear. People are saying that Pezeshkian and IRGC are doing this together. This news would not benefit IRGC. The IRGC is trying to really trying to push the idea among its own followers that things are in control. The president resigning does not send that message. It goes against everything that the IRGC is pushing for right now. So I don't think this is being something that the IRGC would be happy about, and they're trying to deny that this is even happening right now. Okay, and there's that. Also, second point, this demonstrates how correct President Trump has been with his strategy. This shows that all of these ceasefire negotiation ups and downs, some people are good, some people are bad, the mind games, so these people are flexible. I have my favorite people. They're giving me some ships. They're gonna give me the enriched uranium. All of that has fucking worked. I have been following these motherfuckers for many years. They have never been this divided, and you would not be able to achieve any of this with bombardment. No amount of bombardments, no amount of blockade would get you this division. And this is the greatest weakness of the Islamic Republic. And President Trump has hit them where it hurts the most. Okay, if you only rely on military operations, if you only rely on economic pressure, you're only cutting this tree, that you're cutting the branches, you're not destroying the root. The root can only be destroyed if you damage, if you remove the ability for these people to save face, if you remove the ability for these people to deny that they're losing. The only way you could remove the ability for these people to deny that they're losing is not tell them that they're losing, is to get them to tell each other that they're losing. You need to get them to out each other. You need to get them to our attacks on them and how pathetic they are, how weak they are, is not going to be as devastating for them as them hearing this from other pro-regime people. Because we are Zionists, we are evil, we are the imperialists. Of course, we lie, we refuse to see the truth. But when regime supporters say you fucked up, then they feel the pain. They feel that they're losing because it's not us, their enemies, telling them, it's the people on their own side. So the infighting removes their confidence. It hurts their morale. It reduces their motivation. It exposes them as it exposes their weakness, and it makes them lose faith in the regime in a way that no bombardments don't do that. I'm not saying bombardments are not effective. We need that. Like Khamenei, especially killing Khamenei, basically started all of this division. The power vacuum. You need all of them. Okay, you needed to kill the IRGC leaders and Khamenei to create the power vacuum. But now that you have the power vacuum, you need to stop fighting them, because if you fight them, then they have you to unite over. They have you to unite over. You need to create a power vacuum and then stop, so that they turn against each other. And this is exactly what's happening. And I love it. I don't know how long it takes for the Islamic Republic to fall. It might take longer than many of us want, but whatever time it takes, this has shortened it. I don't know what that number is, but if you only relied on bombardment, it would have taken longer than if you did a mix of bombardment, blockade, economic pressure, but plus this. The psychological warfare could have only been done during a ceasefire and during fake negotiations, picking favorites. Basically, also President Trump constantly openly signaling how the negotiations with the Islamic Republic is going has caused the Islamic Republic officials and the regime supporters to go for manhunts, pointing at each other, accusing each other. It has worked beautifully. It has worked beautifully. And if this was all by design, then it was genius. Okay, then it was genius. Anyways, just wanted to point that out for all the people who have been losing their mind with these ups and downs. I mean, I get it, but the Islamic Republic has had a harder time, more difficult time dealing with this roller coaster than us. All right, who's next?
All right. Next, we have Jose.
Okay, just something that I forgot, and I want because I wanted to keep it short. That mullah that you were translating for, and his desire for openness from the IRGC or the controlling government. You know, the black turban guy that you were translating, what he was asking for, Armin. I think that's also a very good sign that there is a massive split, and there's people that feel like they're being ignored within the regime.
Should I summarize it for people who didn't see it? Yeah, just quickly. I played a video of a regime supporter being very angry with a mullah, being very angry with the regime, saying that why are you not telling us if you're actually dealing with the Americans or not? Like you're keeping us in the dark. The Americans keep saying that, oh, the Strait of Hormuz is going to be open. Please tell us that that's not the case. Like, come out and tell us that you're not doing that. Why are we hearing from the Americans saying that you're doing all of these things, but you're not talking to us? You're not telling us what you're doing with the Americans. You need to come and be transparent with us and tell us if you're actually making a deal with the Americans or not. And it shows a lot of anger by pro-regime people against the regime.
All right. Shauna, you're next.
Hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to say too, I don't know if it has been discussed yet. I know I'm late, but I do want to say that I am hoping that this strategy continues to work. Americans are getting really tired of like I'm not saying I agree with, I'm just reporting what I'm saying. Is they're feeling frustrated about the gas prices. They're feeling anxious about it. They're feeling like they're not going to be able to pay their bills. I know that compared to the rest of the world, we're very high end, but that's not how average people think. Average people think about their own bills and their own family and their own day to day existence. And there is just in general, I do see amongst the younger crowd on the right a kind of general isolationism to varying degrees. Not everybody is like full blown ISO cuck. Some people are more, some people are less. But just in general, there is like concerns and fears that this is going to go boots on the ground. This is going to go this. And I'm just like I said, I'm reporting what I'm seeing. I don't know if we want to like distract. In some ways, I feel like distracting the public would be better. But they like with the gas prices and stuff, it's people are starting to feel it. And that's always with foreign engagements. That's always like if they can bleed our patience, they can get us. They can get their way. That's how foreign entanglements have won. So it's just something I'm seeing on the ground and I'm concerned about and I'm aware of and I'm just kind of reporting in the end.
Yeah. Thank you, Shauna.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Gas
Armin, you
prices
want
are
to say?
yeah, gas prices are at $4.33. Is that correct? Right now, is that the average? Because why is
I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, okay.
That sounds
So
about right. Here
e-
in California, it's around 650.
so oil prices are down, but gas prices haven't come down, and the primary reason for that is that there's a lag effect, but also seasonal refining shifts and localized stations operating costs. So we're gonna see gas prices, oil prices dropped in the past month, like by more than 20%. So we might see that that's going to have an effect on the gas prices at some point. We'll see if that's going to have any effect. But one thing
Yeah,
that
and
I've yeah
oh, go ahead. Well, I was
one
gonna
thing
say people are just about it, like they don't understand the lag. Like people don't understand the lag.
yeah, but there is a possibility that President Trump is going to try to bring the gas prices down for the midterms before he does like he doesn't. I know he said he doesn't care about the midterms, but I think he does care about the midterms. He's very effectively involved in promoting his favorite politicians to win, so I do think he cares. And I think when he says he doesn't care, he's just playing his mind games. So I think he knows that um having the kinetic military operations in the Strait of Hormuz right before the midterms is going to bring the. So he basically paused it. One of the reasons why he paused it, when he did, might be because he knows the lag, and he's basically trying to right before the midterms to have the gas prices lower, and then maybe after the mid, so that at least it reduces the negative effect that would have on the midterms, and then after the midterms then go back to more kinetic military operations. That's a possibility. I'm not saying that that's what's happening.
I mean that tends to be my best reading on it as well, is that he's trying to figure out how to do it and time it correctly. And we'll see if it works. And you know, I also do agree that he cares a lot about the midterms.
Yeah.
He's just I just think that he cares. To his credit, I will always credit Trump for this, even if he is very like whatever people want to say about him. I do genuinely believe that he cares. He's taking a political risk by doing this,
Yes,
and
he he cares
and
about it, but
I
he cares about other things more. So just because, like, he cares more about the Islamic Republic not getting nuclear, but that doesn't mean that he has zero cares for the midterms. He obviously it's not zero. He does care about midterms, but he cares more about the Islamic Republic not becoming a nuclear power country.
and I also genuinely think that he cares about the lives of Iranian people.
I do too.
I mean he talks all the time. Like every time he mentions the number, as far as best as he knows the number. Right? The number obviously changes. He says a different number every time, but it's always within the range of like what we know. So I feel like I don't think he likes what happened at all.
Yeah, based on stuff I've heard, I think President Trump actually genuinely cares. But yeah, about the Iranian people, I've seen enough reports.
I think it's because this is just such a grand thing. This is not just a big picture. This is a huge picture that will affect the entire world forever if the Islamic Republic is gone. So
True.
elections and this president and that president, they're all temporary and they're all like a much smaller scale picture, right? But changing the world order is a massive, massive mural, if that makes sense. So yeah. Okay,
True.
so Michael, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Armin, now, well, first of all, does everyone hear me pretty good?
Yes.
Okay. So, recently I've been hearing, I don't know if this was yesterday or the day before, but supposedly the IRGC is fighting some, rebel groups in the border with Iran and Iraq. Can you emphasize a little bit on that?
Wait,
Can
so
you
this
provide
is, do you want me to
details?
put you as a new topic? Because this is still about, we're still on the Pezeshkian
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Oh,
So, or
yeah.
do you want to answer
No,
it?
no,
Armin,
yeah.
go for it. Yeah, I think I'll put you as a 1, okay?
Thanks.
Yeah. All right, next is Samantha wrote something that wants me to read, and I want, as an Iranian, this is the last thing I would ever say to try to say something like this. So here we go. Imagine how devastating it must have been for President Pezeshkian to be accused of killing somebody that he loved. Imagine the complete and total humiliation that comes from a false accusation, the helplessness of being assigned a role in a fake narration, complete and total character assassination, an act amounting to spiritual dispossession. And that's about Pezeshkian.
Oh wow, that was beautiful. That was poetic. Who wrote that again?
It's Jewish Samantha.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
no sympathy for Pezeshkian from me. Just want to make that
No,
clear.
no, I think Samantha is saying how beautiful the pain is that Pezeshkian is feeling that pain. I think that's what she's saying. Yeah, and I agree.
Yeah.
He deserves, because guys, like, I just to make you guys enjoy what's happening, the Islamic Republic officials are experiencing the stress, anxiety, and the fear that they have caused on the Iranian people for 47 years. That's exactly what they're feeling right now.
But this is nothing. We want like way
Yeah,
more
I know.
things. That,
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.